Okay, so the harmony flute, I think, I think it's one of the most beautifully simple instruments on earth. And I thought I'd just start this next video with a wee little anecdote about when I first got this flute, actually, from Todd. And I was down at a local watering hole, and this happy young lass comes up to me and says, "What's that?" I said, "Oh, it's a harmony flute." And she's like, "Ah," and kind of, thought it was really cute and all that sort of stuff. And I said, "Well, you should have a go." She's like, "No, I've never played anything like this before," or she'd never played anything. And I made her. I set it all up for her, and I said, just showed her where to put her fingers, and and I said, "Now just play, just go for it, just play what you think feels right." And she did, and I just couldn't believe her response. She kind of firstly, it was just from the sound. She was just like, whoa, just blown away by the sound, and ended up actually playing little melodies, and just was completely and utterly just excited and stoked. She probably didn't remember it the next day, but but I guess the thing I'm getting at is that anybody can get a connection to this instrument straight away. My mum, she was just so not wanting to play anything, and I made her play this, and she sounded great. Everybody just sounds amazing on this thing, So I don't know how that's connected to phrasing, but I wanted to tell the story anyway, because anyone that plays this thing just A, falls in love, B, wants to buy one, which is a good thing. Okay, so phrasing. Apparently, a lot of people have been asking, when do I breathe? That's a very valid question, and it's not just a valid question for harmony flute. It's a valid question for any wind player, any musician, really. Basically, in the musical world, you breathe most of the time, 99% of the time, at the end of a phrase. Okay, at the end of a phrase. So in a phrase, I mean, I don't mean just like a, because you will hyperventilate. Okay. We kind of we want to get to a point in our breath and in our playing, in our melodies, where we actually put a full stop on the end of the phrase. So, for instance, if I was to say, "Hey, look at that dog over there. It's got a really funny looking tail." That's when I'd breathe. I wouldn't go, "Hey, look at that dog over there. It's got a really weird looking tail." Okay. I'd breathe at the end of that sentence. So I'll say, "Hey, look at that dog over there. It's got a really weird looking tail," on the harmony flute, then breathe. Now, I did do a little bit of a before the tail because it felt right. Okay, so there's two things to consider here. At the end of a phrase is the perfect time to breathe, but if it feels right, breathe. You'll know if it doesn't feel right. If it breaks the flow of your melody, if it breaks the flow of what you're playing, of what you're feeling, then it's a bad time to breathe. Now, in saying that, you do need to take a breath. You need to take a big breath before playing, and then this happens for anything. If you're talking, you don't take tiny shallow sort of breaths. You do take a big breath to fill up your lungs, and it's the same with the flute. Get enough air in there so you can actually support a long phrase. Like if I was to, I don't know, take as much air in as I could and then play a long phrase, it would probably go for about 40 seconds, but not entirely musical, I don't think, but enough so that you can keep going if you want. So breathing also is a beautiful moment for the music to relax. You know, it's like, you know, when you take a roast out of the oven, it has to relax, it has to kind of, you know, do its thing in its juices, you know, and cool down a little bit. It's the same with the harmony flute and with any sort of music. The breath, it's a breath of fresh air for the music as well. So if you think about that and think about, you know, creating your phrases around that sort of thinking, it'll take you about probably 15 minutes, if that, to not even question yourself about when to breathe, because it'll just come naturally.